we have to talk about the text messages that the reporter gathered with those
the players.
Yes.
That guy. Oh my! What a loser that guy is.
So he basically was like texting former players, and they're like, "Izzo would have had us running if we made those comments." It's like, oh, so you played for a dictator.
Izzo being like, "Oh, if you said Michigan State was if you said Michigan was a safety school, we'd be running stairs and running all nights." Like, so you literally have Hitler as your coach.
After this comment on Barstool's Roundball podcast,
I called Tom Izzo Hitler.
Shame on you.
I mean, I think the internet is very soft these days.
This was the clarification video.
I don't think that Tom Izzo hates Jewish people. I think that he just controls his players. That is the misconception, you dummies.
I think what happened, Marty, that everyone just wants to look over because they hate you, they hate Hunter, now they hate me for us always being on like the knees. Like, I said that Tom Izzo is a dictator, which I still think Tom Izzo is a dictator. I'll triple down, I'll double down. You won't shut me up. But when you think of dictators, Hitler is a dictator. Like,
yes.
He was
and then they double down.
What does a fascist mean?
It means you are a far right authorization alternative. Oh my God!
This is the Aiden Ross school of thought, just mindless, drunken stupidity. Michigan's Hunter Dickinson, a co-host on the show, also took heat for it and tried getting out in front of the comments. We talked about it and we came together and said, that's something we can't say. We fully understand that. I don't associate myself with that comment. Dickinson is a regular on there, but said he couldn't recall if he was on it when the comment was made. A lot of the episodes kind of come together for me, so I can't remember explicitly if I was on there. But if I was, I don't condone it. There won't be any more big H comments going forward, especially about Tom Izzo, Dickinson said, especially with recent events with popular figures. That's not who I am. Dickinson was likely referring to Kanye and Brooklyn Nets star Kyrie Irving, both of whom have made headlines for anti-Semitic comments. By the way, the reason for the Big H comparison by Dickinson's hype crew was because a former player for Coach Izzo believed the Hall of Famer would have made his guys run to punish them for saying something as disrespectful as Hunter Dickinson's December 18th comments, wrote SB Nation. In the early days of the internet, Godwin's law was born. In short, it posits, if you mention Big H or the Nazis within a discussion thread, you've automatically ended whatever discussion you were taking part in. Roundball Pod would go on to delete their clip and wipe it from their YouTube, which is saying something. Unfortunately, Clancy inserted himself into another big story from the weekend, the World Baseball Classic. As we brought to you last week, Edwin Diaz, star closer for the New York Mets, celebrated a win with his team in the WBC and suffered a season-ending injury. Clancy would write, I literally hope every single one of these WBC losers has a player on their MLB team get injured. I hope there's 29 injured stars and you all have to defend your stupid, worthless, fake takes about a tournament that's fun for 5 seconds before it's completely forgotten. Asinine. Sad about losing a favorite of his, he'd call fans of the tournament dorks and label it the fake World Series. Jared Carabas, a former host at Barstool who went to DraftKings, would tweet, in supporting the WBC, I'm puzzled as to why some people are making this a WBC versus MLB thing. It's baseball versus everybody else thing. Clancy would tweet, more decaying man yells at cloud jargon to his former coworker, insisting all that should matter is his team and that the WBC is irrelevant. Speaking of... These were the scenes in Puerto Rico, but, no one cares, right? Well, that is indeed what Clancy would write, which is, of course, false. Front Office Sports wrote of the record shattered from this year alone. Clancy would continue digging his own hole, not realizing the stupidity he tweets, continually putting down the tournament and labeling it an exhibition. When talking baseball on Twitter, asked the team from the Dominican Republic, if you had a choice to win the World Series or WBC, which would it be? They answered, the World Baseball Classic, taking an axe to Clancy's own words and shattering them completely. Former MLB outfielder Adam Jones would weigh in. Baseball's grown so much across the world. Sorry Americans only think about America. See the world and get out of your bubble. A fair critique. Current Chicago Cubs pitcher Marcus Stroman would also come across Clancy's lunacy. You're an idiot. Very typical coming from a Barstool boy. You're completely irrelevant and your opinions will never hold any weight. Wishing harm/injury on anyone shows how trash you are. Players love competing for their countries and take pride in it. Poo-poo take, you clown. Clancy would call him a crybaby and label him thin-skinned. In an attempt to get back at Strowman, Clancy would misquote him, attributing what you see on your screen to the pitcher, when really it was from former second baseman Ian Kinsler. Clancy would call Strowman a race-baiting loser who is incapable of making arguments without calling someone a racist. This is the point in the clip where I say, trigger warning, extreme racism from Barstool Sports' Kevin Clancy. Oh blank, it's Puerto Rican Parade Day, lock your doors and shut your windows. Watch for stray bullets, he would tweet. Sounds like Team Canada beat the blank out of Mexico. Not so tough without your shanks and shivs, are you Mexicans? I love all this blatant racism with Jeremy Lin. Hilarious. Out of all the lame, embarrassing blank you Jews do, playing spin the top is the saddest of all. When asked, why do you guys always assume any Spanish person is a Mexican or Puerto Rican, Clancy would reply, what else is there? These Asian reporters have got to be kidding me. Calling the Nets the no-good team. Might as well just yell and then prints what you see on your screen, which is highly offensive. Imagine you have 30 adopted Africans and your wife demands custody in the divorce. I'd sign those papers so fast, their adopted heads would spin, he wrote. There's more. We lost to Nigeria in basketball. Do they even have food? You know what? I'm just going to go watch the UFC. And more. Zelda is for nerds, Pokemon is for Asians and little babies. He stated how he hates black women, but would give Beyonce a shot. He pulled the same lame, racist Nigeria joke on Honduras. Then, there was more with Honduras. Extra pennies in your UNICEF boxes this year, he tweeted. Then he'd pull the same shtick again. All of this to say he's a bigot who is one of the faces of the company. Attacking Marcus Strowman and the WBC simply backfired tremendously.